Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, it's nice to see you.
Long time no see.
I know, it's been a long time. How was Mexico?
Now gone grey.
You've been a very busy guy, traveling around everywhere. How was Mexico?
Mexico was amazing. My first show there, just unbelievable energy for boxing. Like, the first fight was at 3 p.m. The main event was at like 7:45 in the evening, and people were just lit, as they say. It was, honestly, it was a great fight, but it was just a pleasure to be there. It felt like almost like British fans, but almost even more passionate, like it's just part of their culture, which it is. You know, obviously.
It's hard to believe anything can top the British public, though.
It did. It really impressed me.
Okay. Well, we just wrapped up the London stop for Joshua versus Miller. Let's talk a bit about this animosity. I mean, I know at one point you were standing in the middle between those guys. I'm not going to lie. I was literally thinking to myself, Ed, get out the way.
This one was a bit weird. Like, it was like they could come, you know. But the one in New York was, it weren't the best. But I like it because people are seeing, say, a different side to Anthony Joshua. Like, that's a side that he has. You know, and like.
When triggered.
Yeah, but I asked the question, like, people think that. People go, oh, you know, I did this, I did that. It wasn't like AJ where everything was given to him on a plate. Like, he borrowed 25 quid to go and buy a pair of boxing boots, and then it all started for him. It wasn't like he was coached behind the scenes and then given a spot on the England team. He went out, he won the ABAs, he got into the England team. They stuck him in the World Championships, like as a novice, he got silver. Then he got him into the Olympics, he won gold. Then he went into the pro, like, you know, it wasn't like he's had this privileged background. So you got to understand, he was a bad kid. He was in gangs. You know, he did get arrested and boxing saved his life. But he's still that kid. But someone needs to just spark it out of him sometimes. And Jarrell's done it. And when you hear Joshua say, I'm going to reconstruct his face, that's not something that he says. Like, you never hear that. So, but I think he enjoys that. But he won't just come out and be that man. Someone has to bring it out of him. Dillian did it. And now Jarrell's doing it. But the mistakes he made in the Dillian fight was he let it get to him and he fought off emotion. And I think he's just a bit more mature now. But he definitely wants to do a job on him. But he don't like him and he wants to knock him out. And I can't say that's been the same for Klitschko, Parker, Takam, Povetkin.
Is it safe to say that it's been the most annoyed you've seen him look? Because I know I don't think I've seen him look as annoyed by his opponent as he has with Big Baby.
He was annoyed in New York. He wasn't really annoyed today. I think he was actually enjoying it. Like, after, as I said, thanks to everyone, he went, no, ask some more questions, like he did in New York. So I think he's just enjoying the fact people are interacting with him. And I think he's just enjoying the build-up. And he loved New York, and they loved him. So he's come back with a real spring in his step, saying, wow, this is great, and this is a really exciting chapter.
Why do you think that he is, and I use the term mugged off, it's a UK term, right? Mugged off, okay. Why do you think that he's mugged off by all of the other heavyweights? They all seem to say that he's just a paper champion. Why do you think that he's just not getting the respect he deserves?
Look, all right, when you're a shop on the high street, you mug off the superstore, right? We're not Tesco's, you know, we don't do it like this in this little store we got here. And that's basically, that's life, that's particularly British life. They want you to do good, but not too good, right? When you're coming up, when you're the underdog, when everything's against you, when you're trying to take on the system, everyone's patting you on the back saying, go on, I can go and get him. When you become the system, you are evil of all evils. So it's a bit like us, really. You know, when we started, it was like, fucking hell, go on, Eddie. Go and take it to Frank Warren and all that. And then you go and knock them out of the park, and it's like, oh, boo, you know. And Joshua's the same. But I always ask you just to revert back to the facts. And when I'm talking about the facts, I'm really talking about the resume. Like, we're 22 fights in. And I'll say it again, it's getting boring. Brazil, White, Povetkin, Parker, Takam, Klitschko. These are the people he's dealt with after 22 fights. So you can't knock his resume. You can't knock what he's doing. Yes, there's one fight that we haven't managed to make yet. Wilder. That's it. So just hang in there on this journey. AJ talked about 10 years. This isn't about June 1. This is about a legacy that will be created in time. You know, and I go back, that's why I was disappointed by Lennox Lewis's comments. because after 22 fights, like, compare the resumes. It's not even close. Lennox should be saying, like, what he's done after 22 fights is amazing. I really want him to fight Wilder. Hopefully he makes it. Not hating on him. Like, after 22 fights, do you think that people were talking about Lennox Lewis as a great? No, Lennox Lewis is a great because of what he achieved. I still believe AJ's going to have a much better resume, but it's, you know, you judge your legacy, you judge your career when everything's said and done. You know, who knows? Like, again, talking about me, because I like talking about me, but maybe, like, I just start going tits up and doing shit shows, and and at the end of it all, Eddie goes, well, he was good, wasn't he? And then he ended up being rubbish. Or we might sell out Madison Square Garden. We might go, that's a legacy that you create in time, but that never gets decided till all is said and done, like any fighter. It's like Froch. You know, when Froch was fighting, no one was really going, oh, he's a true... Well, then, when it's all done, you look back and you go, wow, actually, look at his fights. Look what he achieved.
You appreciate him after the fact.
You do. But that's why I'd rather people just look at facts and say, well, actually, fair play, after 22 fights, this is quite incredible. Yeah. Like, people say about Brazil now. Like, Joshua knocked out Brazil in his 17th fight. How long ago was that? 3 years ago. So, and now people go, oh, Brazil, oh, he's big and so he might fight Wilder next. Joshua dealt with him 3 years ago, you know? Like, Klitschko, yeah. Povetkin, who wants to fight Povetkin? I mean, the only one who I think wants to fight him is Usyk. Yeah. But everyone looks at Povetkin and goes, no thanks. So...
Well, let's talk about June 1st, Madison Square Garden. I know that a lot of people were a bit confused. Oh, something just flew out of my pocket.
It's only a bit of chewing gum.
A lot of people were a bit confused because initially AJ didn't have any interest in wanting to go over to Conquer America. And now that it's a different opponent, he's willing to.
It wasn't interest to go over to Conquer America. He just preferred to box in the UK. And nothing's changed. He preferred to box in the UK.
He wanted to fight here.
Absolutely. He wanted to fight on April 13. We couldn't get Wilder. Obviously, he was fighting Fury. Dillian Whyte didn't want to take the fight, or we didn't pay him enough money, or whatever way you want to skin that cat. So we looked at it, and I was like, look, who are we going to fight at Wembley? Or the zone have launched. You know, things have changed. You are going to go to America at some point. Do you want to do it now? It was more, you know, when people say, oh, well, you wouldn't go to America for Deontay Wilder. Not necessarily true. We just felt that after everything that he built up, he deserved the right to fight Wilder in the UK first. That's what he felt. Obviously, now we're talking to them. If he has to fight Wilder in the US, maybe he has to do that. But at least now he would have had his fight in the US beforehand. So, you know, this isn't really about, it's about conquering America. It's just having a fight in a very important marketplace. This isn't the first market that Joshua will crack, and it won't be the last. But having been there last week, having seen how your people have reacted to him, he's going to be big. He's going to be big.
Dillian Whyte, there was rumors that he would possibly be going over to PBC. What do you know about any of that at this point?
It's up to him. You know, I feel like we've done a great job for Dillian Whyte. I got him in a position to fight for the world heavyweight title against Joshua. Made him 3 offers. He didn't want to take the fight, or he didn't think it was enough. That's fine. You know, everyone has their idea of what the value they represent. At the moment, he's in negotiations to fight Brazil. And if Brazil fights Wilder, I think Dillian should be mandatory. But, you know, like with these guys, like I said, I think, you know, we've taken Dillian Whyte from 6 rounders off TV to 2 pay-per-view shows and #1 in the world. He's done that work because he's had to do the fights. We've done a great job alongside him. We've done some great business. Hopefully that continues. If he goes elsewhere, we'll shake his hand and say good luck to you.
Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, we don't know what the state of that is at this point. We know that obviously Tyson signed his ESPN deal. Do you think that this is going to sort of throw everything off course?
It doesn't help. But then Wilder coming out last week saying I'm a free agent, I mean, would have put the shits up Espinoza and Al Heyman. That's another expression we use in the UK.
Would you try to snap, you know, sign Wilder?
Love to. I mean, we don't get much feedback from their team, but if I'm Al Heyman, you know, who's a guy who is renowned for making power moves, I'll go straight in and make the undisputed fight with Joshua. You know, so we'll fight in June or July, like you are, and then let's make the fight now for November, December. Maybe that will happen in the coming weeks. I don't know. Or sometimes in these kind of things are happening that you may not necessarily know about. So maybe Wilder's been talking to ESPN for a while, and maybe this is a move by Bob to say, well, now you have to come. So, but like I'm saying, if I'm Heyman and I'm at Espinoza, I'm right now doing everything I can to stop that from happening, because that's the game these people play.
Do you feel that you would be able to offer Wilder more if he came over and signed with you in Dazn than PBC?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Particularly for that interim fight. I don't know, sometimes like people get so poisoned by what people are told about someone. So like, it baffles me that Wilder wouldn't have a 10-minute conversation with me just to hear what I've got to say. But maybe, and not so many people have told him so much stuff, he's like, Eddie Hearn, I ain't listening to Eddie Hearn. I think that is what he thinks. Oh, Eddie Hearn's a waste of time. It's like, mate, do you know how much money we've got? Not me, by the way, but do you know how, like, what is on offer here? Not just the undisputed, like a fight for more money than you made to fight Fury, and then the undisputed fight, which is the fight, it's the biggest fight in world boxing. How can you not just, like, 5 minutes? That's it. That's all I want. It can be on a phone, can be in person, but maybe I'm not as powerful as I think, that someone wouldn't at least give me that opportunity to give them tens and potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in a quick
conversation. Do you think he's just been poisoned with everything that he feels has happened?
He's a time waster. Because that's what people would have told him. Espinoza, Heyman, Shelley Finkel, all these people would have gone, Hearn's wasting your time, mate. Don't even entertain it. But their job is to look at those options. Like, they're not doing their job if they don't speak to me and find out the number. It's really frustrating. And like, I've never tried to give someone so much money before and at least not even had like the ability to have a conversation about it. So
I know that the first time around when we were talking about the negotiations, you were saying that it was a flat fee offer, and that was the first one. Now the second one is now a split.
No, that's already been made. That was a flat fee and a split.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after the last fight, we started talking about doing the fight in the US, and then it just went bang, silence. And
because I think they were anticipating that the rematch was going to be made.
And look, we could have done the fight instead of Miller, like if they would have kept talking. But there's a way to handle business, Michelle. Like, not just quiet, ignore. Like, hi guys, good to talk to you last week. Here's the numbers for the show in the US. Get back to me. Nothing. Hi guys, just hoping you got my email. Nothing. Hello, did you get the email? Can we meet? Blah, blah. Nothing. I think the last one was like, I'm just checking this isn't going into your junk items, and send it to his secretary, or you're just being rude. Nothing.
So Joshua was making the comment that he thinks that Tyson and Deontay have decided to blacklist him.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I just think it's not like someone said about a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. They just don't want Joshua to get on. No one does. They don't want Joshua to get on. They don't really want us to get on. That's just people in the US market. And that's what I'm saying about poisoning people's minds. So, like, if you look at Espinoza, he likes tweets that I wrote like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I've been noticing lately on my feed. It's like, what are you doing? And Espinoza's under so much pressure right now on this Wilder thing, and he doesn't have the budget to keep up. So, like, they'll poison the minds of these people. And Al, like, I'm not saying Al poisons it, but Al is a genius of, like, any guy who you don't even meet, yeah, but you think is God. Like, this guy has to be a genius. So they can talk to a fighter and go, guy, trust me, that Eddie Hearn, he's a bad guy. He's a bad dude. You don't want to be speaking or dealing with him. All right, Al, thanks. That's it. Conversation killer. So, but I would just be a little bit more bright than that and just go, okay, well, look, like, Canelo's getting paid pretty well. He's on Dazn. Joshua's the highest paid heavyweight in the world. He's on Dazn. It's kind of going quite well at the moment. Maybe I should just, like, Golovkin, or he might go to Dazn. Well, should I just have a chat and see why all these people are going to Dazn? Or should I just believe you?
Well, and
You're sold.
Oh God! All right. Well, lastly, I know people are still waiting to interview Usyk. What's going on there? I'm here in Chicago.
Yes, May the 18th. It looks like could be Povetkin. We're just talking about it now. I think it's a very big, tough fight for Usyk, but he's up for it. He's got to get the deal right with Povetkin, and then we'll see.
All right. Well, thank you again for your time, Edward.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right. I'll speak to you soon.
Right.
Bye, fight fans. Hey, fight fans. It's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else